The soft hum of everyday life filled Sarah's suburban home. Another quiet evening, a book open on her lap, the familiar comfort of her living room settling around her. She closed her eyes for just a moment, a brief respite from the pages. When she opened them again, something was profoundly wrong. Disbelief warred with a creeping dread. It wasn't there a second ago. A trick of the light? Or her mind? She closed her eyes tightly once more, counted to 3, and reopened them. The door remained stark and ominous against the familiar wallpaper. A strange compulsion, stronger than her fear, drew her closer. Its surface was cold to the touch, smooth, with intricate, unsettling carvings that seemed to shift in her peripheral vision. There was no handle, no latch, yet as she pushed gently, it swung inward with an impossibly soft, ancient creak, revealing not a hallway, but a swirling void. Every instinct screamed to run, to slam it shut. Yet a deeper, unspoken part of her, yearning for something more, stepped forward. The world twisted, colors blurring into an impossible landscape. She was no longer in her living room, but suspended in a shifting, ethereal realm of fractured architecture and impossible geometries. Disorientation seized her. Up was down, solid was fluid. The air hummed with a low, dissonant chord that vibrated through her bones. A strange, glowing glyph materialized before her, hovering in the air. It pulsed with an inner light, a silent invitation, or perhaps a challenge. As she reached for it, the environment around her solidified, but into something darker, more menacing. Sharp, jagged edges replaced soft curves. A faint scratching sound echoed from the depths of the shifting landscape. Not human, not animal, something else. She glimpsed it, a shadow moving between the fragmented structures, too fast, too angular to be natural. A creature, drawn to sound. Adrenaline surged. This wasn't just a strange dream, it was a trap. A place where every sound was a beacon, every movement a risk. She had to move, silently. Each step was a measured calculation, her feet barely grazing the echoing, crystalline ground. Ahead, nestled amongst a cluster of glowing, thorny vines, was a shimmering object, a key, pulsating with a faint, hopeful light. As her fingers closed around the key, the ground beneath her shifted violently. A section of the wall receded, revealing a new, previously hidden pathway. The path led to an ancient, rusted gate, its bars twisted into grotesque forms, blocking her way forward. The key fit perfectly, turning with a soft, resonant click that echoed just slightly through the silent landscape. Beyond the gate lay a cavernous expanse filled with strange, bioluminescent fungi and a faint, sweet smell that hinted at both decay and life. Mysterious symbols adorned the cavern walls, carved into the stone, glowing faintly. They seemed to tell a story, or perhaps lay out a path. A low growl reverberated through the cavern. Too close. Sarah scrambled, pressing herself into a cluster of glowing fungi, trying to blend with the light. The creature's heavy footsteps slowly faded, its guttural breathing receding into the echoing distances. She was safe, for now. As she calmed, she noticed something peculiar, a faint glimmer where her thoughts coalesced, a connection to the shifting world, a subtle influence. She focused, trying to manipulate a distant floating platform. It vibrated, then slowly, obediently, began to drift closer. Success! The platform docked, a bridge across a vast, echoing chasm. Her choices, her focus truly shaped this world. On the other side, an ancient, crumbling pedestal held a brittle, parchment scroll. A journal, perhaps, from a past explorer of this nightmare. Silence is your shield. Choices are your chains. The door mirrors your deepest self. As she read, the cavern dissolved. She was suddenly in a room that was unmistakably her own bedroom, yet terribly wrong, distorted, warped, bathed in an eerie purple light. A broken mirror on the wall showed her reflection, but it wasn't quite her, and within the fractured glass, a series of glowing symbols shimmered. The symbols, she realized, were from the journal, a puzzle. Connecting them in the right order, she heard a faint click, and a hidden drawer in a warped dresser popped open. Inside the drawer, a single black feather lay on a bed of shimmering dust. It pulsed faintly, pointing towards another hidden passage. The passage led downward, into an abyss of chilling cold and profound silence. The air grew heavy, thick with unseen presences. Whispers began, faint at first, then growing in number, swirling around her. Indistinct voices, full of malice and sorrow. Two paths diverged. One, wide and well-lit, beckoned with false promise. The other, narrow and shrouded, promised only deeper darkness. A choice, indeed. Trusting her gut, she chose the shadowed path, knowing the easier way was almost certainly a trick, a final snare. The ground behind her crumbled into the abyss, leaving no retreat. Her choice was absolute. She emerged into a colossal, decaying hall. Pillars reached into a starlit void. Statues of forgotten entities gazed with empty eyes. At the hall's center, on a raised dais, a single glowing orb pulsed with a soft, warm light. It felt strangely familiar. She reached for it, and a flood of images, forgotten memories, surged through her mind. Not of the house, not of the door, but of her childhood. She saw herself, a small child, closing her eyes tightly, wishing for adventure, for a world of her own making, right in her bedroom. The door, the entire nightmare world, it wasn't external. It was a manifestation of her own mind, a world born from a child's imagination, now twisted by adult fears. But the surge of emotion, the noise of realization, was too much. From the shadows between the colossal pillars, a monstrous entity began to coalesce. It was a creature woven from her deepest anxieties, her unaddressed fears, given form by the very world she had unconsciously created. This wasn't a fight of strength, but of will. To conquer this world, she had to conquer herself. To face the monster, she had to face her fear. She closed her eyes, not in fear, but in defiance. She pictured her room, her quiet life, the strength she had always possessed. The nightmare world shuddered, fractured, then exploded into a million shards of light. The creature screamed, disintegrating into dust. She opened her eyes. The familiar pattern of her living room wallpaper, the worn armchair, her open book. The door was gone. The room was exactly as she'd left it, yet everything felt different. She felt different, lighter, empowered. She closed her eyes again, not with fear, but with a quiet understanding. The door was always there, within her, a gateway to her own strength, and a reminder to keep her inner world safe.